Good day, everybody. Welcome to Business Studies Grade 12. My name is Miss Mabue. Today's lesson it's called Unethical and Unprofessional Behavior. Right, we're going to start with our Did You Know? It says here, did you know that if you set a good example, you need not worry about setting rules? Why? Because as a leader or as a manager, you should lead by example. Right, so we go, this is by Lee Lakoka, by the way. We go to our lesson objectives. Our lesson objectives, these are the goals or the aims of this lesson. By the end of the lesson, you should be able to know the following, to be able to identify the following types of unethical business practices. Please pay attention. Unethical business practices from the given scenarios or the given statement. What are those unethical practices? We've got the first one, unfair advertising. The second one is pricing of goods in rural areas. Then we've got the last one, which is taxation or tax evasion. The second objective, you should be able to explain how the above mentioned types of challenges or of unethical business practices will pose challenges to the business practice. And what else do we know? For every challenge, there should be a strategy. So we need to be able to solve the challenges that we are facing. So by the end of the lesson, you should be able to recommend or suggest ways in which a business could deal with the above mentioned. Where are the above mentioned types of business strategies? These ones on top. You should be able to recommend or suggest ways in which a business could deal with the above, those three. All right, so what I normally do here, I've got an acronym which is called PUT, but we'll explain it in a minute. So P is for pricing of goods in rural areas, U is unfair advertising, and then T is taxation or tax evasion. Right, the second slide says, by the end of the lesson, you should be able to identify the following types of unprofessional. Please take note, we had unethical, now we have unprofessional business practices from the given scenarios or the statements. So basically, you must also know the difference between unprofessional and unethical. So here it says, identify the following types of unprofessional business practices from the given scenarios. Which practice? We've got sexual harassment, we've got unauthorized use of workplace funds and resources. Then we have abuse of work time. Well, with this one, my acronym here is USA. But remember, if it works for me, it doesn't mean it'll work for you. I'm just saying this is what I use to remember the unprofessional business practices. It's USA. Right, then we've got the other one. Explain how the above mentioned types of unprofessional business practices pose a challenge to businesses. So there are challenges, but you should be able to explain. Right. Remember again, for every challenge, there's a what? There is a strategy. So you should be able to recommend or suggest ways in which businesses could deal with the above mentioned types of unprofessional business practices. The very same ones, the three top unprofessional business practices. Again, I said it's USA. Right, then we move on. We've got our concept map. So throughout this lesson, we've got our journey, the journey that we're going to take. So the journey will start from here. The unethical business practices. Can you see? I've made my put. So put unethical business practices. And there we've got the challenges. For every challenge, there is a strategy. So this is our journey. And then we've got another journey of unprofessional business practices. Right, as you can see, we've got our USA again. Challenges and also strategies. For every challenge, there is a strategy. Please do not forget that. Right, so our pre-knowledge, this is what you should know. You should know the following definitions. Right, unethical behavior. Remember, I said in order for you to be able to understand the challenges and be able to come up with strategies, you should know the definition. So unethical behavior, it refers to when the business acts with a different set of values of what is morally acceptable. Then we've got unprofessional behavior. It refers to when people or the business does not act within the accepted standards and the expectations. Right, moving right along. So let's see if you remember or you understood what I just said. What is the difference between unethical and unprofessional behavior? Right, unethical behavior includes actions of the business, but unprofessional behavior includes actions of the employees. Unethical behavior is when the business acts with a different set of values of what is morally acceptable. We act with different set of what is morally acceptable. We're not doing what is expected. When people or business do not act within the acceptable standards and expectations, this is unprofessional behavior. When people or business do not act within the accepted standards and expectations. Right, now we get on to our new words and language. So these words, we'll come across these words as we are busy with the content throughout the lesson. You've got a code of conduct, a document that states acceptable behavior in the business. Everybody in the business or everyone in the business must act according to these principles that are where in the code of conduct. Unprofessional practices, when people or the business do not act within the accepted standards and expectation, that is regarded as what? As unprofessional behavior. Unethical practice, on the other hand, is when the business acts with a different set of values of what is morally acceptable. Right, so for now we'll end here, and then I'll see you after the break when we continue with our lesson. See you just now.